Fresh killer.
What up, tribe? I'm fresh off the couch. Just finished watching season 3, episode 9 of Atlanta. Rich Wigga, poor Wigga. It was one of those episodes that was not focused on the central cast members that we have grown to love. And I have expressed time and time again how much I'm getting tired of that. However, I will venture to say that this episode was funny, man. it, it was funny. It was comedy is powerful. Comedy is very powerful. And there was some topics broached in this episode. And they were broached in just a humorous way. They had it was a 1950s spin on this episode. It was in black and white. They had the sentimental music being played in the background. Spoilers abound. I am about to get into it. So it centers on this kid, senior in high school, who appears to be straight up white. However, he's got a father who is my complexion. I would assume he's around my complexion. It was in black and white, but he appeared to be around my complexion because I remember having an old black and white TV when I was a young lad, and I can tell those things. The episode was also it seemed to be heavily influenced by one movie called Imitation of Life from that era, in which there was a very dark-skinned woman who somehow had a child that just looked very white. And all of the hangups around her coming to pick up her daughter from school one day, and it exposed her daughter because her daughter was passing as white. And then when they saw her dark complexioned African-American mother in the doorway, they said, "Oh God, she's colored, she's colored, she's colored." This one, this one twisted it in a different direction. So there was a kid who was he was black when it was convenient for him. This white appearing kid who had the black daddy. But he was playing video with black guys online, and it appeared that he was trying to be black in that moment. And something happened. He wasn't doing well in the game, and all of a sudden he's calling people apes and racial epithet this and racial slur this and making monkey noises, and gets off the video game, goes to school. He's got his white homies. He doesn't hang around with the black kids. He is identifying as white. Enter one Kevin Samuels. May the man rest in peace. Very a controversial figure, but he said how he felt and he stood on what he said. I did a live about that a few days ago. Check that out. But Kevin Samuels comes in. He's a multi-millionaire in the show. In the show, he's a multi-millionaire, and he gives a speech at the graduation, and he says, "I am offering a scholarship for all of these students," because he was an alumni of the school. So all 12th graders, I'm gonna pay for your college tuition. And then he said, "There's a caveat." He didn't say there's a caveat, but there was a caveat. Then he said, "Who's black?" And black kids, yeah. It's so funny. It's so the main character of the show, the Wigger, the whatever he was, the biracial passing for white kid, was like, "Oh snap." They had auditions in which people had to prove that they were black. And the lobby for the auditions was the funniest thing that I have seen on television in a long time. They had this Indian kid and a bunch of white kids that was like harmonizing, singing "Shy, If I Ever Fall in Love." they had a Mexican kid with a wave cap on talking about, do I got waves? I go, brushing his hair. It was just so funny. Everyone wants to get a scholarship, of course. The guy wanted to go to this school that a school that his girl had gotten into, but it cost a lot of money and they couldn't afford it. His father couldn't afford it and all that. And so, you know, he goes and he auditions to be approved of being Black. And they ask him a bunch of questions. And it was so funny. The first question they asked him was, name 6 things that you can mix with Hennessy. I hit the floor. I don't know what happened in the next 6 or 7 seconds. It was so funny. I said, oh my God, I don't realize I've been Black for so long. I don't realize that, you know, I'm in my bubble. Hennessy, I guess, is a Black thing, because I laughed and I thought about it, man. So many things came to my head, man. I was just like, wow, I know Coca-Cola for sure. And I don't know, does ice count? But I definitely thought about those Incredible Hulks that we used to drink, the Hypnotic. And I was like, damn, could I get 6? 6 is a lot. I don't know. Lemon squeeze. You put lemon squeeze in there, that's 3. I don't know if I could get to 6, but so funny, man. So he basically the guy did poorly on the test, but the way that it was set up, it was they were sitting like up in a balcony and looking down on him and throwing these questions at him. And he was just like, and the light, he was on stage, and so this light was shining on him. And it was extremely surreal. And it was like existential. It was absurd. It reminded me of the autobiography of an ex-colored man, or The Invisible Man, or The Trial by Franz Kafka. It was really eerie. Like, what if your future depended on these 3 Black men that were in a balcony asking you questions that you should know about your fate, that you should know about your culture. You need to prove your Blackness to us. And he couldn't just like show a picture of his father, right? It wasn't the 1-drop rule that we go by in the United States. It was a series of questions. It was a series of, this is information that you need to know. And so Blackness became this cultural thing, this thing that you have to be aware of, this thing that you have to live every single day. And the blood didn't count. And it was eye-opening, and like really, it was funny. It was a lot of things, but it made me really think. It made me think hard and like, what if we kind of flipped what does Blackness mean in this country? What does it mean to be Black? That's always a question that I have pondered. Does it mean like you listen to this type of music, you wear your clothes this way? When I was young, what does it mean to be Black? Like basically to act a fool, right? To be Black was to be loud and to be disruptive. And this is like when I was in junior high school, and to be disruptive in class and all of that. And that's how you, and to basically be hood. But what if those 2 things were not necessarily synonymous? What if you couldn't fake it, but you had to know it, you had to live it every single day? And I'm saying this because one of the questions that they asked was Will and Jada or Whitney and Bobby, right? and I and they, you know, I feel like they set him up. They didn't like him. It also made me think about these tests, these polling tests that Black people used to have to take in the South to be able to vote, because they didn't want Black people to vote. And so they used to ask them all types of like random questions that had nothing to do with voting and things that no matter what they said, they would get it wrong. And that's how they set this kid up to get it wrong, because they didn't believe in his blackness as soon as he walked through the door. That was definitely the high point of the episode for me. It descended, I think, in that point, at that point, into he wanted to, somehow he had a flamethrower. He's going to burn down the school. As he's going to burn down the school, he bumps into this Nigerian kid, and the Nigerian kid didn't get the scholarship either. He didn't get accepted as Black. And they have this discussion around, well, you know, the kid that's passing is white, says, our main character says that, well, you know, you've got your own language, your own country to go to, and da da da. And so, yeah, you know, that's not Black. And then they, whatever, like they have this conversation, and they said, what if the guy says, what if I burned you? Oops, too late. Was that a dark skin joke? Kid said, and then he tries to burn him. They run through the school, blah, 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 whatever. He chases the guy. The kid, the Nigerian kid, right when he was about to torch him, he gets shot by the police. And the police end up arresting our guy as they're taking the Nigerian kid to the hospital. Kevin Samuel's character says, you know what? You getting shot by the police is the blackest thing that you could possibly do. And he like gives him scholarship money. Says, take him to the good hospital, White Grady Hospital. And I know Grady is like the where you get shot up, like you go to Grady. And so he said White Grady. I don't know what White Grady is, but I know what Grady is. I guess that's the good hospital on the other side of town, whatever. So some kind of inside Atlanta thing. So and then in the last scene, it ends with the guy. He's like a year later, he's like super Black, wave cap, working at a selling phones or something like that, getting with Black girls and all that, whatever. And okay, I mean the ending was like, it was kind of goofy, right? The white girl tries to get back with him, his old girlfriend, and he he says, you've never been sexier. It ends that way. I guess that's a play on Black guys liking white girls, as the creator Donald Glover has a white wife and half white children. Okay, so once again, I thought that the episode's worth watching, and I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was funny. I'm still irritated because the next episode is the season finale. There's so much about the relationship between Van and Earn that I want to know what is going on with Van. We still don't have the answer to that. What happened to the guy's socks? You remember the white guy's socks that took Paperboy's phone like several episodes ago at this point? Like, what did they ever discover that he stole it? Is he still in with the crew? There are just like so many questions that need to be answered that I know for sure they can't answer it in one more episode. So I'm kind of ticked off by that. I still maintain that this season is by far the just the worst season of the show. But this episode is cool, it's solid. It had me laughing really hard. He's doing a lot of experimental things, of course. So by this season's standards, this is one of the better episodes. I will say that. All right, tribe. That's all I got. Appreciate y'all. Peace. And another one.